Hello to all you lovers out there.
Hola.
Thank you for always watching Love Works with Juan and Gee. I'm Gee.
And I'm Juan. And today we're going to mix it up for you a little bit. Today we're sitting down with a woman who wears many hats. She's a dancer, a choreographer, an actress, a philanthropist, a reality star. But most importantly, she's a mother.
A mother of a transgendered son, which is why we wanted to was so anxious to sit down with her. You might know her best as R. Kelly's ex-wife, Drea Kelly, but she is so much more than that. And we're going to find out what that process is like as a mother having a transgendered son. So let's find out.
All right. With the beautiful choreographer, as I said before, dancer, mother.
Yes.
Drea Kelly.
Hello.
Say hello to all the lovers out there.
Hey, lovers. Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us. And you know, the initial reason we wanted to have you here is because we know that you have a transgendered son.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk about that. So let's just dive right into that.
Absolutely.
And then we'll get to the other stuff later. So the first thing I want to ask you is, having a transgendered son, what was that process like? When did it start? And just kind of give us a little Cliff Notes version of the story of how your son ended up coming out.
Well, I will say this, that any mother out there who claims, oh, I didn't know.
That was my
You a
question.
mother, you got that
Right.
gut feeling. And it was really, he was walking down my hallway one day. Big J has always had a lot of hair. Hair up in a puff, girl outfit on, but it was something about the way he had his hands in his pockets and the way he walked. I'm like, no, you walk like your granddad.
Right.
And it was just something to me. I said, that child is different.
How old was he?
That child is
Yeah.
blessed. Oh, child had to be 10, 11. Yeah.
That young, which is kind of, you know, I've been reading stories in the papers. I love papers, physical papers. You know, 4, 5, 6-year-olds coming out as transgendered.
Right.
Your child, you noticed that at 10. Some would say that's still young. What do you say to those people who say, no, they don't know what they're talking about? You don't let that child do what they want to do.
And let me tell you, that's the one thing where parents irritate me, because you don't say anything at 6 years old and they say, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to be a doctor.
Right.
Yes, that's right, little
Right,
Jimmy.
right.
When your daughter says, Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to be a model. Yes, you put her in modeling classes and ballet. You don't second guess it.
Right.
But when it comes to their sexuality, why are they then incompetent? You deem them incompetent and unable. So as a parent, if that's what your child comes to you and says, then your job is to educate them and let them know the good and the bad. Let them know that the world is not going to love you like mom.
Right.
There are going to be people who are going to judge you, dislike you, even hate you. But know that mama, my love is like that of God. There's nothing you can do to earn it and nothing you'll ever do that you can lose it.
Right.
That is your job as a parent.
Right.
Not to all of a sudden try to unsexualize your child as no,
Because that's not what you want them to be.
That's not what you want them to be. So again, I just find it odd when they talk about occupations or, Mom, when I'm older, I'm gonna live in Europe. I wanna go. Yes, baby.
Be all you can be. Do it.
You
right?
don't question it. Let them say gay. You, oh Jesus, Lord, all glory. Why?
Yeah, that's real talk though.
Well, you know, let me ask you this. You said at 10, you noticed that. Do you notice that your child is transgendered, or do you notice that she's, because at the time, she identified as a female?
No, honey, I was like, I'm gonna have a daughter-in-law.
Also, you knew that it was transgender and not lesbian?
I didn't know if it's lesbian, transgender. I was like, I don't think my baby like boys. Like boys.
But you know different. But you
I
not
knew
necessarily knew transgender.
Yeah, and I just knew my child was special.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily look at it as different.
Right.
So did you have the language?
You know what? Then I did not have the language about transgender. Actually, my child educated me. And was looking up things on the internet, like, Mom, this is what it is, and hormones, and what you have to go through. And I was like, well, you found a doctor saying they go right back. Okay. I was like, well, you're serious about this.
You also have another son.
Yes, I do, Robert Jr.
Older or younger than you?
Younger.
So tell me, how do the siblings deal with the transition in once having a sister and now having a brother?
Oh, they play no games when it comes to a boy. They play no games.
So they're
supportive.
supportive.
So supportive.
Has it always been like that?
You know what? We just come from that family. There's 2 other gay cousins in my family. I run a theater company, so I'm with the kids all the time.
Right.
So for my children, even racially, we got black, white, Puerto Rican, Hispanic.
Right.
I mean, that's just the world that they come from. And I never wanted my children to live in this bubble and think that, no, that world doesn't exist, or that's beneath us. So I wanted my children to be exposed to not only different cultures, but different sexualities, so that you would know firsthand, because this world is so biased. They'll make you believe anything if you fall for it. And look how they make us afraid of the black man. And I even find myself clutching my pearls and holding my purse tight. And I'm like, stop. Are you serious? You have to have your own mindset. So I want us to be a living example for my children. And I just believe the best way for them to learn, you have to expose them to it. And then they will form their opinion.
So, I mean, it was just easy peasy up in your house.
I know, right?
I'm looking for this hard story of pain.
It wasn't easy peasy.
I think that's what I was going to ask. What about the father? How did the father accept?
You see that man?
I'm just saying. I mean, like, how easy
I don't
or
care.
hard
Don't
was
do
that?
my eggs. Don't do my eggs. They're my babies. I don't care what you think at the end of the day.
Right.
So he wasn't necessarily receptive or accepting
It
of it.
took him a minute to get there, but I always wanted my children to know, you live your life for you, not for me, not for your father, because the day I die, when I'm laying in that casket, they're not gonna say, okay, John, now crawl up in there with your mom. Your life has to go on when I'm long gone, and as your mother, I am here to only facilitate making that the best, most beautiful, most productive life that there can be, because when I'm gone, that's all you have. So I've always taught them, me, grandparents, uncles, sisters, brothers, friends, it don't matter what they think. Live your life.
That's beautiful. I wish we had more parents like you. And when we met the other night, I was briefly saying this. It's really a special thing to hear those words coming out of a mother's mouth, especially like as a son, a gay son. Hearing a mother say that, it validates you. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine what it meant for Ja, going through the emotions of feeling transgender, you know, and identifying with the opposite sex and having that loving support. I mean, hats off to you. It's beautiful.
It's amazing because, you know, we were just talking about this earlier. It's like, you know, when coming out as gay children, you know, we have to give our parents the opportunity to come out as well, because they have to get comfortable with, you know, what you brought to their attention or finally settled on. But in this situation, it seems like the support was always there. You have a younger daughter, right?
No, I have an older daughter.
You have okay, so you already had a daughter. So I was going to say, well, how do you let go of the dream of having a daughter, but you had one?
Yeah, I have an older daughter, Joanna, 17, and then I have my baby, Little Ryan, who's 13, and then Ja is my middle child. So for me, it wasn't a feeling of, what do you mean? You're not gonna have grandbaby? Well, yeah, you can. She still got ovaries at this point until the change comes, until it's definite. I don't know what it's gonna be, because again, you have to walk in that transgender life. So when my son came to me, it wasn't a thing of devastation, like, oh God, what do I do? That is so selfish. And when your child comes out, automatically parents go to this selfish mode. What about me? What about mom?
What are people gonna say?
And it's like, stop. Think of your child, what they have to go through, and they learn to be strong by looking at you. You have to be a living example. So if you weak and crying and falling all out, how can you then be a hypocrite and tell them be strong? You can't be weak when people talk about you. You gotta face the world, but you don't do it. So I knew, all right, this is what we're dealing with. You still making your bed, you still taking out the garbage. None of that's going to change. But what I had to get him to do, I said, love the journey and walk in the process. This is nothing that's going to happen overnight. Let's start doing little things first. So the first thing we did was change his room. Got rid of all the girly colors, painted it taupe, got rid of all the girl blankets in bed, did that. Then we changed his clothes. I said, you never have to wear another dress again if you don't want to. You don't have to wear another skirt.
What do you say to those parents out there who may be watching, who are struggling with their coming out process?
Ask questions. Some of them, once they hear it, they just want to close their ears to the world. I don't want to know. I don't want to ask. No, don't come in here with that. Just, you want to walk around with blinders on. Take the blinders off. Ask questions. Ask them, do you have other gay friends? Do you have other parents? So then you have a support system. Like you were saying, for your mom, I think it's harder when you don't have other parents who are willing to say, no, I support my child, this is what I do, because they don't know what it looks like. So in the gay and lesbian community, it's like, okay, everybody has their support system, but what about the parents of? Because everything everything has a support system. There's Alcoholics Anonymous. They have support for spouse, loved ones, abuse. But it just seems like in this community, the parents are kind of left to figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I've been nominated and taken the position, and I know. But
You
I
have, all right, you definitely have.
I have no problem. Like, they're like, do you worry? Yeah, but I worry about my child like I worry about any other straight child, gay child. It's my child.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters. And again, stop being so selfish. A lot of your fears come because you're being selfish. You're thinking about you. Your shame comes because you're thinking about the shame that's going to come on
Exactly.
you.
Exactly.
You're afraid that you're going to be ostracized and outcast because of what's going to come on you. But if you take that stance that this is my baby to the day I die, because guess what? Friends will come and go to the day you die. That's your child.
Let's shift gears a little bit. It wouldn't be right to have you on the show and not talk about love or relationship, because that's just what we do.
Come on, yes.
So we wanted to get your opinion on a question that we got from one of our lovers out there who asked us for some advice, and I picked this question because you have public relationships. Your relationships are often in the public, and
We ain't gonna say no names though.
Yeah, details of those relationships have been out in the public. So this is relating to how do you, this person has a cheating partner, and they want to know, can he get over the cheating partner if the cheating partner says I'm not going to do it anymore? And what is the process, and how do you get over a cheating partner?
Well, the first thing is you have to be real with yourself, because the problem is not the cheating partner. The problem is you keep taking the cheating partner back.
Okay.
Well, that assumes that you've taken them back.
If you've taken them back.
Well, let me ask you this first. Do you believe once a cheater, always a cheater?
No, I do not.
Okay.
So do you believe cheating can be forgiven?
I do believe cheating can be
and
forgiven.
the relationship can still work.
And it can still work. But you have to know that you have completely forgiven, that you are not leaving that as your ace. That when you do something wrong,
bring it
when
back
you do
up.
something wrong, I got one up on you. Then you haven't forgiven the person.
Absolutely.
So you have to be very clear with yourself what forgiveness is. And you have to be clear that forgiveness doesn't always come with a sorry.
Right.
Either you're going to forgive the person or they're not, because guess what? You can ask that person and they're always going to justify why they cheated.
Right.
And that's not going to satisfy your psyche. So even if they never give you the answer that you really feel that you need to forgive them, that's a choice you have to make. And a lot of people think that, well, once they prove it to me, they're never going to prove it to you.
Right.
When you're done wrong, you're going to say, but why? Then they're going to give an answer, but why?
Right.
But you want to know the why and the why and the why of the why. You gotta stop that. That's number 2. Number 3, like I said, if it's a situation where they cheated repeatedly, it's not their fault at this point. It's yours.
Right.
Their cheating isn't the problem. You taking back a cheater is the problem.
So is at this point, and we tell people this all the time, call a thing a thing. You know, you got a man that's gonna be out, stepping out. You need to either accept that or move the hell on. At the end of the day.
It's really that simple.
Yeah.
It is really
It's that simple, but it's that hard, huh?
It's simple and it's hard.
Well, wouldn't it be so much easier if that cheating person said, look, I love you, boo, but I just like to fuck. I just like to cheat.
Yeah. You know what?
It'll
Be
be
honest. Be honest with me.
And give me my choice.
Right.
Thank
That's
you.
number 1.
I think that's the thing about cheating. It's not so much the act of cheating.
It's the
It's
deceit.
I got deceived and blindsided.
Now I feel stupid and I feel a fool.
Yes.
But I think we're only talking about one aspect of cheating right now. So if I may, you said you don't care about the why, or some people don't care about the why, and it could be, I can give you my why, it's not enough for you. But I feel like the why is so important. And because like last night we went to see The Intern. And the lead character's husband cheated on her. But I feel like it made me look at cheating totally differently. He sought comfort in someone else because he wasn't getting it from his spouse. And to him, he was communicating that he wasn't unsatisfied, that he wasn't satisfied. Things were just, she was a workaholic, blah, 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 blah. So it happened.
Right.
And I think you can't discount that why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I think you have to examine the situation and say, well, how did I contribute to this situation?
Oh, because there's always 2 sides to the demise.
Yeah.
Nobody in the relationship is like, but they cooking, they cleaning. There's always 2 sides to that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about the why. you also have to be able to accept somebody's truth. Though you may not agree with it, it is their truth. Are you willing to accept it? And when someone says, this is my honest to God truth, I feel like you weren't there for me, you're going to have to accept. You can't then come back with, yes, I was, and I come
right.
No, you may not agree with it, but that's their honest viewpoint of it. It's like a glass, half empty, half full.
Right.
Nobody's wrong. It's just how you look at it.
Right.
It just is. So when they tell you that, you don't then go, how do I fix that? Because now I have a clear map of how to fix it. And then if I don't fix it, I really can't be mad the next time you come and tell me that. And I don't think people communicate that well. It's always the blame game.
It is, and it's like people think the cheating is the end all be all. Like, oh, he cheated on me, and blah, 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 but why? What was going on in your relationship that and people very rarely want to look at themselves.
Well, you know, my last little marriage,
what was it, 3 months? You've been in the business for,
forever.
Just throw us some of the who have you choreographed for? Because she normally has her arms out. This body. These guns are like Angela Bassett's and What's Love Got to Do with It? Like, oh my God, the body is.
Thank you. That's what I do. Well, I have 2 dance companies, which people probably, I don't know, they might be aware by now, but I have AKDT, Drea Kelly Dance Theater, and I have
you do some seduction stuff.
Yes, the Belgian my burlesque company, and I do an artist seduction class. But a lot of my choreography was done for my ex, Robert R. Kelly. Yeah, I said it. A lot of his work and tours, but it was like every time he was dropping an album, I was pregnant, had the baby, we go on tour. Come back, do an album, I'm pregnant, drop the baby, go on tour. That's just what we did. So all of his videos, awards, and being overseas. And then I was like, okay, now you starting to play with her. She's not gonna do it. I'm not doing it for anybody. So that's when I branched out and started doing my own thing. Because it's just like at the end of the day, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have to learn to be assertive about what you want. And black women, that's different from being aggressive. Okay? You don't have to be aggressive and neck snapping and demasculizing. I'm not gonna do this. Then you're being aggressive. But be assertive, stand firm, and say, babe, I'm confident. This is what I want. These are my boundaries, and this is what I'm going to need to stay in this relationship. And don't falter from that. And if they can't get on, get on.
Well, speaking of R. Kelly, since you brought him out, we won't go say nothing. In the age of social media and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, everybody's relationship is pretty much in public right now. So how do you deal with a public breakup?
I'm a Southside girl, so pretty much it is what it is. Girl, we ain't together. We like anybody else. We like the Joneses, except everybody wants to know what we're doing. And I just think that being as open and transparent, it helps that woman, because if Drea can leave R. Kelly, you can leave Tyrone. Transparent. Honey, if she can leave R. Kelly, you can leave Tyrone and Daryl and Bob and anybody else. And if I'm doing this, letting you women know, there's not enough money in the world, it's not enough private jets, it's not enough furs and Gucci in the world for me to dim my light, for you to shine brighter.
Question we always like to ask everybody: are you single?
Little bit.
You love it.
Whoa. What does that mean? We can't sign off yet. What does that mean?
Because she
little bit,
because she's trying to date.
Okay.
But it's not going very well.
While you finding somebody to love all up on Drea, how does Drea make self-love work?
Oh, self-love, looking in the mirror and being okay with them flaws. Be like, girl, you made it from the south side of Chicago. Look where. Don't look at the little things, look at the big things, the triumphs in your life. And I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm just so proud that I don't wear it on my spirit. I don't wear it on my physical, because I can walk in a room and I know who's in it, who's going through it, who out of it, who on the second one. So I just thank God that I have been strengthened, not only physically but mentally and emotionally, that I don't bring that baggage into the relationship, like I'm never gonna trust a man. No, I believe in love still. And I know that love will never do me wrong. A human will. A flawed human will let me down. They will disappoint me. They will lie to me. Love will never lie to me. Love will never let me down. Love will never deceive me. So I believe more in love than the person. And I believe that love is a choice. You have to choose to say, in spite of everything I've been through in life, I choose to love.
And you have to make that choice daily.
Daily.
You have to wait. Yes.
Honey, if you don't, you will be a functioning alcoholic. Daily. You have to make
or non-functioning alcoholic.
Or non-functioning.
Even worse.
I be laid up somewhere in the Atlantic Station like, why?
such a treat.
It has been.
You are a breath of fresh air. I swear to God, like on all fronts.
Thank you.
I want to be your friend.
We
Yeah.
friends.
I just love that, like, you just bring this energy
Yeah.
that, like,
Thank
it's
you.
it's high energy, it's boisterous, but it's loving and it's spirit filled, and I love it.
And we're definitely gonna have you back next time. You're gonna bring your son
Absolutely.
back. Thank you for tuning in with Miss Kelly.
All right, love you all.
Peace.